Scott Hasselt here with Thrill Seeker Outdoors, and today we're doing a little how-to video on building a bench to practice showing your dog on for a bench show. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I have 5 daughters, and the oldest now especially is getting into showing hounds. They love going night hunting with me. They're not big into the competition hunting side of things on the UKC end, but we have been showing our dogs at bench shows, and it's been a little bit of a nightmare because we've never worked with and trained our dogs to do that. So I wanted to build this bench so that way we had something to practice on, something for the dogs to get used to standing on the bench, the kids to have a good time practicing with the dogs. So because this is just for around the house, I'm not building a fancy one where the legs fold in and all that. This is just going to be a stationary bench, and it's going to meet all the UKC requirements, which UKC requirements are 2 foot tall, minimum of 44 inches long, and 18 inches wide. And then the top of it has to be covered with some sort of non-slippery surface. So we're going to be using like some fake grass matting that we're going to put on top of it. And so I already pre-cut all of my lumber. I'll go ahead and give you the dimensions that I used on everything, and that way it'll make it easy on you, because I know when I was trying to look stuff up, I couldn't really find a video on somebody building one to give me an idea, so I just kind of came up with it myself, and I guess we're going to stumble through it. So this is going to be my top 1/2 inch plywood. We are 18 inches wide and 44 inches long. I got my 2 long sides here that, let's see, I believe I cut them down to 41. Yep, 41 inches, because I'm going to cap them with these ends right here, which are just shy of 17 inches, so that'll give me just about a 1/2 inch that frame on the sides is going to sit in a little bit. And I'll show you how I'm going to assemble it, but essentially it's going to be something along the lines of this right here. And then I did cut another beam just in case to put in the center if I so choose to do that. And I'm just going to be assembling it with deck screws. I'm probably going to use 3-inch screws to assemble the frame, and then probably just like basic drywall screws to actually attach the frame to, or the top to the frame. So next I'll show you how I did my legs. Alright, so these are the legs. I got 4 of them. Like I said, they're just going to be stationary, so I cut them at the proper angles so that way with the top on it, which is 1/2 inch plywood, we're going to sit with that top with nothing else on it at exactly 2 foot. And so what you're going to want to do is cut one end, this is all just scrap lumber that I had laying around, so it was different lengths. But instead of doing trigonometry like I had to, which nobody enjoys that, I don't recommend trigonometry to anyone, but I'll give you my dimensions that I used. You're going to need a speed square, or I guess you could use a protractor if you want to. But you stick your speed square on there. You're going to go down to, you hit 30 degrees on the side that says pivot. You're going to make your cut, and then this is the dimension where you would have to do the math. You're going to want to measure down 27 inches. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to stick on the opposite side of the board that you were just on. Stick your speed square on there, and then you're going to go down until you hit that 27-inch mark, which again should be 30 degrees. So you're going to measure from long to short should be 27, and short to long should be 27. And that will give you, with a 30-degree angle, a nice flat spot to attach this to the frame, make it level, and then with that dimension of 27 inches and the 1/2 inch plywood, you're going to be sitting right at 2 foot. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to assemble the frame. So if I missed any dimensions, I'll go ahead and go over them again. My two end pieces here that are the short sides are 17 inches long, and that's so I have a 1/2 inch that this frame will sit inside on the length wise of our top. My long pieces here going down the sides are 41 inches, right? And remember, our overall length of the board is 18 inches wide, 44 inches long. And so we're going to, obviously, since this is only 41, we're going to cap the ends like so. We're going to line up flush. I'm using 3-inch deck screws. That's just what I had laying around. They're a T25 Torx bit. And then we're going to cap both ends. And then I have a piece here that we can put in the middle, which obviously is going to be a different dimension. It's 14 inches. So that way it'll fit inside of our box, so to speak. Alright, now that we got our frame assembled, we're going to attach our legs. So this is what you're going to want to do when you're attaching the legs to this frame. I'm going to go on the inside of the frame, that way the legs aren't hanging out beyond the top. And that is going to make it a little bit more narrow. I guess we're going to find out when we're all assembled how stable it is. But to give it some stability, we cut the 30-degree angles. You're going to match up the 30-degree angle so it's going out beyond the frame, and you're going to put it flush with the top of the frame. So you're going to match up flush your 30-degree angle. You're going to butt it up to this back cap board, and then your 30 degrees is going to go out slightly beyond the end of your frame to give yourself stability wobbling back and forth. So you got 30 degrees flat here, and then those 30 degrees flat there should sit flush on the ground. So your frame should look something like this when it's all said and done. Should be nice and sturdy. You just want to make sure when you're putting these legs on that you're flush with the top and that you make contact on the bottom edge with your end cap boards. You saw me put the one screw in, that was just to tack it in place. I added 2 screws to each one on the outside. One thing that I did forget to mention that we're going to want to cut for the legs are some boards to help the legs on the bottom from pinching or bowing. Now we're going to go ahead and put our top on, and remember we were a 1/2 inch narrower on our frame than we were our top. So an easy way to make sure that your top is even all the way around is, because we're flush at both ends and we're a 1/2 inch narrower on the sides, is you take the top corner, you put it flush, and you get your 1/2 inch by measuring from the frame to the end of the piece of plywood, put a screw in, but don't sink it all the way. And then you can come down to the opposite end and make sure that that's a 1/2 inch away and lined up flush. Now you can secure your board down all the way. Alright, now that we got our top all secured down, frame built, legs on, spacers at the bottom of the legs, now we're going to put on our non-slippery material or surface. I forget exactly how the wording goes, but it's like a fake grass rug type of thing. I don't know, we had it laying around, and I've got landscape adhesive that hopefully is going to stick to that, and a stapler. So the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to kind of secure it down as I go, and then after I get 3 sides, or at least one side secured and the second side lined up, then I'm going to start cutting as I go and securing as I go. And so I'll do my best to kind of show that on the video. I'm going to be stapling on the underside of our little 1/2 inch offset. That's why we made this a little bit more narrow. And the ends, I'm just going to staple right along the edges here to secure it down, and the adhesive will essentially keep it from slipping. Alright, so this is our finished table here. Got the fabric on it. I grabbed Fury, our 1-year-old red bone pup, out of his kennel. That way he could test it out for us. So let's see how he does. Come on, get up here. Easy now, easy. Well, it's something to practice with at least, and work on. But I think we got the basics down, huh? That's a good dog. That's a good dog. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Make sure you check out our channel and hit the like button and subscribe to future videos. Thanks.